Alright. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the stream. This is the end of the week stream, relatively. But yeah, stoked to be able to finally do, I guess it's almost a week straight again. But yeah, I went ahead and started sketching out more figures here on this panel. Just kind of like fill out the space and whatnot. So I did that kind of off camera, as you guys can tell. But yeah, I actually got to experiment a little bit more. I believe it was like yesterday. I was trying to figure out like how to get this access menu the way I really wanted it to look, and it took a while, but I actually like it a lot now. This is actually what I was going for a while. I remember telling you guys about it, where I was like, the access menu thingy eluded me, essentially, right? Like, it was a little enigmatic, and I hadn't done enough research to kind of really figure it out completely. But now I have. I've done some more research. I've seen some more videos, some tutorials, and basically what I can tell you is, when you get to a certain part in like what you're doing, like with creating comics or creating artwork, you eventually, definitely digitally, you get these tools that you use consistently. And since they are the consistent tools that you use, you eventually want to be like, okay, like, how can I like maximize my space, you know? Like, how can I utilize my whole screen when I draw, while also keeping my favorite tools that I use all the time for each process organized and accessible. And Clip Studio has those features. So basically, I'll go ahead and do a small little demo, right? This is the quick access menu. If you don't know where it is, if you don't see it, you go to Window, you click Quick Access, right? If I turn that off, well, I don't actually want to, because who knows where it's gonna appear. Anyway, I'm gonna just keep it on. But if you don't know where yours is, go ahead and click this button here. You can find it in Windows. Scroll down, find Quick Access, you click it, and it should pop up somewhere, right? Once you get that, it's gonna have some default settings, kind of like this, but they're not gonna look like this. They look more like I'll show you. It goes to, I think it was kind of like a list, but like a medium. So this is what they used to look like. Yeah. This is what they used to look like, and I used to dislike this so much because it meant that you had to scroll down just to find all the stuff you're attaching to it. This is decent regardless, because, you know, it can have a bunch of options there. The only downside is the scrolling down to be able to access it. But other than that, it has all the tools that you would enjoy to use. And it's not just tools, right? You have things like undo, redo, you can put delete, you know, these are things that you would see when you selected something, right? If I go to like, where's the lasso tool or something? Because it doesn't have that. So if I click this, right? Oh, that, whoa. What did I click? Oh, it doesn't allow me to select something, it just goes into that. Okay, cancel. Okay, so go over here. I have a lasso tool, right? If I use a lasso tool, it gives me all these options here. Once I've selected something, I get all these options. You can, like this thing shows, you can put things like deselect and crop and things of that nature on this type of list, right? But what I like is not having to scroll up and down on this bar. I like to have things kind of like in front of me so I don't have to scroll. And if I go to this is some of the things that I put here, but you can make these things really small. You go ahead and you can select things and put them on there, right? But once you have some of your favorite tools and favorite settings attached to this thing, go ahead and go to this bar here on the left hand side of it, click that, go over to view, and now you have all these different options for how you can display it on your canvas. And that's really great, right? Because again, the more used to a program we get, we want to be able to find our favorite tools as quickly as possible, and we're probably used to our processes at this point, right? For example sake, if you work on comics, you have a comic process that you use, and you could be like, okay, when I'm doing the thumbnailing, here's the tools that I like to use, and then when I'm going into penciling and inking, different sections for those tools you can also make. And I've been using this program for years, and some of you probably have been using it for years, and if you don't know about this feature, well, it's great. Hey, how's it going, Tavon? Yeah, we are live too. But so here's kind of like some of the features I like. I like to go up to here. This says very small or tile small. I'll go to tile small, right? Now I think I also have it set to a certain amount of columns, right? You can actually pick the columns right here. It says tiles and stuff like that. I'm gonna go for example, I think you can, what is this? Right, so I like these right here, right? This is good for me because I can actually section these off as well, right? I think I can put this up here if I want to, like, okay, so you have, this is the quick access menu tab thing. If I don't want that to be there by itself, I can put something up there. Also, you have these little in-between parts. I think you can actually add little things here as well. This is add separator. See here, add separator, right? So if you did want to have things separated by like a process, right? It says select layer. This is design pencil, right? I will put this stuff down here, move that over. If I wanted to organize it, and then I could also be like, okay, my inking tools could be separated from my pencil tools, right? So I could like put these up here actually, and I can put a separator here. So add separator. Oh, I guess that's how it separates. Oh, okay. So these are the separators right here. See, I'm learning at the same time. I go to view, and I go to tile small. That's also just fine. See what else we can do. It's very small. So this is the very small joint. I wonder if it allows me to change these. Okay, this is 16 columns. Okay, right. Okay, so basically, because you can organize these things like this, right? You can hover over it to see what it is. But over time, since you've organized each thing, you can essentially just you don't have to like look at it much anymore because you know where everything is. You'll eventually know where everything is. So I'll put that there, right? So now I have like some of my favorite inking tools here, right? And this is, G pen, right? Go ahead and select the color you want. Do that. You can even save colors here. So yeah, I really like the quick access menu. I think they even allow you to put some things from like a action menu in here as well. I believe it's called the auto action. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with quick access, do it. Figure it out. Put it on there. Use it. I'm still not completely using it to its full potential, but I think it's great, right? This is the bucket tool. I don't need the bucket tool because I have a pen with a button, and the button I've already set to fill, so I don't need to worry about that. What else do we have here, right? This is blend. This is the move tool. I don't need the move tool because I've set a certain button to that. On most keyboards, the move tool is the spacebar, right? So it's dope. Sorry, I had to get a drink of something. Also have a button for this. Now when it comes to like things like airbrush and stuff like that, I have some favorite tools there. Like the soft brush, sometimes the highlighter brush, and then there's tone scraping, right? Those are very situational. I'm not always thinking to use that tool. So, what else? Gradation, right? gradation is always pretty darn cool. And I think you can actually save these with like subtools as well. You can put a whole tool there as well, but it's only going to attach probably the one you already have selected. So I usually use foreground to background. Those are usually the types of things that I use, at least for this one. I think you can actually just go ahead and, can't you move these? Yeah, and like swap them real quick. But yeah, so I could like add this here, foreground to background. I think you can drop that in there, right there. Boom. Now I don't have to, like, I don't need that slider out anymore, so I can hide that. The other thing that I learned the other day is that you can have like these pop-up joints. So for example, I've hidden my right side of the screen, which usually is all this stuff, right? It's like your layer properties, or my layer properties, my navigation, because I don't need that anymore, and this is also my layers, right? But now I have this attached to this bar at the top, which is it's a pop-up layer palette. If I click it, I get my layers all right here. I can even expand it, make it larger or whatever. I can do everything that I want to do in layers that I would usually do over there. But basically, once I'm done doing whatever I'm doing, I can just go ahead and go back to drawing, and it'll just go away on its own, because it's like a pop-up. Same thing here. I kind of picked this subtool here for gradation for some reason, and I was just testing things out, right? And then once I again select something and I pick it to use, I can click away from it and it goes away. These types of things help free up your canvas, right? For you to essentially expand it as big as you want and have more real estate to see what what you're producing, So yeah, this was a little quick demo of some of the things I learned yesterday when I was looking for more things about the access, what is it called? The quick access panel or window. But yeah, there's a lot of little features like that I really like on Clip Studio, and I plan on using them a lot more. Okay, so this is that pencil. How's it going, Keza? I'm doing just fine. Seems to be quite hot today. I'm just trying to stay hydrated and be cheerful working on comics. This person's head looks like they have a really long neck here, so I'm going to try and change that. There we go. It's silly. Just kidding. Keep doing like this weird little stroke test here, like with this pen. It looks. A part of me is like, man, it looks cool. Like, I'm like, maybe I should start writing my signature like that or something. But it's just slickly. I don't know why I do that. I guess the reason why I do it is because I think it looks cool. I guess that solves that. Alright, so I think I'm gonna start putting some clothing on these characters here. I also want to make sure that I'll put some characters in the background as well on this panel itself. So where's this pencil? I use this pencil, and I could have swore I had a better pencil here. This is the darker pencil. Oh, it's over here. It just is red. Okay. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna kind of just make the shapes for some of the characters walking around or whatever, standing around, doing business, whatnot in the background. It's really low angle shot. So it's kind of like it's really close, I guess, but it's like very close to like the bottom line for the panel is essentially the ground plane for like everybody, since it's such a low angle shot. I think here I wanted to kind of make it like an opening here, like behind them, but also have like the stuff here in the foreground to be like buildings and stuff like that. Not buildings, but you know, structures here, like representing the location that they're in. Maybe I also have like some people on the other side of this, but I don't like to congest things like that. But at the same time, right, it fills out the scene to a degree. Okay, so we have like someone's foot here. They're walking past or something. Some debris coming off of their shoe. This is the bottom line here, essentially for the panel. It's a little unnatural there. Technically, if this person is walking like this, then technically it would be like something like this. That could be cool. It's a pretty interesting panel. Some speed lines maybe. Maybe this person's running. What's that shoe there? Transparency. This is looking pretty cool. It's definitely a much more interesting layout now, right? This guy is technically like framing all these characters here just with his legs. So that's pretty cool. Just gonna go up like that. Okay. And the background will be essentially like speed lined kind of like details, whereas though we won't focus on it too much, so these things will be in a little bit shadow, right? So will this guy's legs, speed lines, right? Probably, oh, I didn't change the name on thing here. So got here, right? And again, this is just like my rough sketch joint. This is like my rough sketch pass. So these are like my roughs. So I don't usually go into too much detail, but just enough, right? Whereas though, when I go back over these, I'll have all the meat and potatoes, the bones, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll have enough there to work with. I have enough there to work with to be able to kind of go over it and be like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this to make it pop more. also going to probably reference some of the characters that I already had in the previous panels. Let's see here. I think I had like some cool hairstyles and stuff like that. How can I actually reference this without having to move over so much? Or is it just... okay. Of course, some of these characters are bold, so that's always funny. I have this lady here, she's walking over here. They did start over there, so it's possible that some of these characters are still walking upwards. This guy has a hoodie. He's bold. I'm probably going to keep him bold. I think that would be fun. This lady here has a head full of hair. Seems kind of bushy. Okay. This lady here seems the most cool. I almost feel like I want to change her out. It's me getting a little ahead of myself, honestly. Okay. So still using this tool, I can kind of put things in with that. Probably pop over to this instead though, so that it's more concrete. Alright, so there was a guy in front of them that had a hoodie. I could put him over here. Maybe he walked over, saw something he wanted to buy. Was like, hold up, let me get some of those. That could be cool. Oh yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, almost close to 200 subscribers. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that if you like comic book content and illustration, which I'll be doing a lot of on this channel over time. I'll put out a video every single weekday for at least about an hour or two, usually about 2 hours at this point, consistently. But yeah. Alright, so this guy, I'm going to give him some cool hair. What type of hair should you have? It's a guy... oh, what if I gave him like curly one-sided hair? That could be cool. Oh yeah, have this button set to fill. Sometimes it looks like a good option. It's gonna have some sort of book bag here, because why not? School is a thing. And this is basically a little shopping area, mainly where they're selling a bunch of fresh goods. They just happen to be walking through there, and if they see something they want, they might buy it. Okay, this guy, maybe he has on some khaki pants. It's a really big pocket. I'm mainly focused on like shape language right now, and like details are really secondary. Really don't try to get caught up in details. Definitely even like at this rough stage, kind of do it in multiple passes. Kind of want to change this guy's stride just a little bit. Wonder if I can adjust this leg a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Now I have to adjust this other leg. See, now it doesn't look like he's walking. It looks like he's posing or something. Now he's skipping. Yeah, that has a lot more weight to it. Interesting. His torso doesn't work as well as I think it should. Such a interesting little thing. Gotta adjust some things sometimes. His head still looks weird, so I'm gonna move it over just a bit more. Yeah, probably have to zoom in. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna give this guy some spiky hair. That'll work pretty well. Give him a dark shirt. Actually, I'm gonna give him like thicker legs. Get some good old body diversity in there a little bit. Just a little bit for now. I'm gonna do more, obviously. Well, that's obvious, but I'm definitely gonna do more of it. I actually really enjoy when things have more diverse characters and things like that, and character expression, body types, and stuff like that. It takes a bit more work, and I guess it takes more time and effort to like think about those things. But I feel like they're really important. The world we live in isn't filled with like everyone you look at is working out and looking in peak physical form, and you know, even if you do, people's muscles are built differently depending on the types of exercises and things like that they do, you know. So I think it's important to start trying to add that to the conversation if you can. See what else we got here. So let's see, in this panel here, I put someone walking away from them with a kid on their back. At least that's what I was going for. So I'll add on to that more. At least that's what I thought I drew. If you guys don't see it, you know, it's understandable. I didn't draw it well enough. Okay, so this guy's shoulder here, his elbow, his bottom of his hand. He's holding the foot there. Now he looks extra short because of the way his legs look. You guys ever have any questions? I'm always ready to try and answer them. Alright, so what else can we do? I actually planned a certain type of scene with a group shot, but I feel like I don't want to do it just yet. So I've been doing a bunch of little group shots here and there, like in this chapter already, but I'm like, I want to actually go ahead and do that soon. I'm thinking it'll be next chapter or the chapter after that, honestly. It's where I feel like it'll fit naturally. So I'm not going to like push it unless it actually fits naturally. But yeah, excited to try that out. Alright, pigtails, right? Wait, no, puffballs. Yeah. And of course, it's time for fireworks. Or as I used to call it, you guys know what it is, the beautiful sounds of Baltimore. I don't know, fireworks aren't really unpleasant though. It's nice to think about people celebrating and enjoying themselves. So, I don't really dislike the fireworks. It's just interesting that it's happening right now. I'm gonna give this guy some sleeveless shirt here. I think that would add to the different type of look I'm going for. Feeling like this type of shirt usually has a bunch of wrinkles to it. Okay. Alright, I like the way his wrinkles here are coming up. Need to actually practice more drapery and more like clothing centric things. I did it a little bit a while ago, which is why I guess I'm decent at it, but I really want to get a lot better at it, along with doing more texture based things. So I think I'll practice a line work variation of it, and I think I'll end up practicing a shading based version of it where I'll be focused more on not the expression of the line art and how that makes you feel, but like how trying to do the shading of it and trying to actually like figure out what's the best way to make it look or feel tangible, because I'm doing texture. So this guy's ear, maybe there. I think I might want to change a bit of this. Okay. And what else do we want? This guy needs some hair. What type of hair are we gonna give him? Alright, that's a decent hair there. Just going from the right to the left so far. Got this, everyone's basically in view. Good. This character isn't overlapping anyone that badly. Always have to remember to check that. Alright. Let's see what else we have here. Wait a minute, what happened to the OBS viewer? Okay, it's right there. And that's down. Let's see here. Input capture, desktop audio. Okay. Sorry for the little pops. I don't actually know how little they are actually, but sorry about that. see here. Wait a minute. Oh, it's on the other page. So now I can go ahead and put on this guy's outfit. Okay. Okay, so that should be a little bit easier to read. I like that. It's pretty cool. Alright. Get that outfit on there, kinda. Alright, I like the way that's turning out so far. This lady here has curly hair from what I remember that I drew. She also had a dark outfit on with a dress. Alright. I think that panel's about done. As far as I want to do with the characters anyway. Kinda got the hints that I need there for when I do go over it. I think I have screen real estate to kind of play around with this one part. Guess I'll leave it alone for now. Maybe I do. I just need to figure out what I can place there. Alright, now we can finally move over to this page, so I can kind of move back a bit. think that's a decent pose. What else can we do here? We have these other two characters here. I think I gotta fix those two poses there, but I know what I'm going for. Okay. So I don't know, something about these two figures here don't work correctly for me. So let's see here, these guys are tilted this way. The problem here for me is that if I tilt them like that, it looks like they're standing a certain way. I'm gonna tilt this way. It's weird. One second. Gonna mute my mic real quick, but I'll still be here. Aha. There we go. I assume my voice is coming through now. Let me check. How's it going, Thero? Yes, my voice is coming through. How have you been? I had to mute my mic to see us. I was trying to listen in on a situation that was going on with a friend of mine. Ugh. Jeez, man. People be just, I don't know, old heads, man. Old heads, and the way they think, man, just very much non-progressive. I gotta just say that for the, that's what I'll say. But yeah, man, how have you been, Thero? I don't know if you're still here, but yeah, I'm here. I had to listen in on what was going on, but yeah, I've been just working on these pages, getting a little further. Yeah, I've been enjoying it, because I still enjoy working on comics. I love that this guy's head is basically a freaking apple. I like that translated over to some degree of like some sort of design aspect that I guess I was interested in. I think Toriyama's kind of a genius sometimes, but I'll come back to that. Let's see. Pretty good. Kind of just chilling at the moment. Might have went too hard earlier because my hand's aching now. LOL. Oh man, I know the feeling of that. It usually happens to me if I try to just draw nonstop for 3 days straight. If I try to draw nonstop, I mean literally like I wake up, I eat, and then I just draw. Then I forget about like lunch a bit, and then I go straight to dinner, and then I draw after that, and then go to sleep. And I do that like that process for about 3 days straight. My knuckles will start to ache. It's weird. And then, I have like the shakes in my hand and stuff like that. So that's, yeah, you gotta always know when you can rest your hands, man. But definitely, like, so that's the thing about like making a workflow. It has to work for you. Like it has to work for like how you're built, like how literally how you're built, how your mental state works and everything, that way you'll be able to get the most out of your process. I think I talked to Shillin, if you know who that is. I'm sure you do, Pharaoh. Talked to Shillin. She's the lady who works on Carsafona, and she was explaining workflow to me, and she was explaining that, like when you work, you have to figure out how much you can handle to kind of get something done on a consistent basis, right? I've seen some people kind of like, what they can do is kind of like, they can hop around. As long as their storyboards are done, they can just hop around and draw different comic pages and different panels and jump off of a page into a different page. I'm like, whoa, I can't do that, right? But what I know my process is similar to is kind of like, I like to do things in bulk. That's like my de facto thing, right? If I'm doing a comic, I'm going to probably storyboard everything. I'm not going to hop around and do this and do that. I'm going to storyboard or thumbnail everything. Then I'm going to go to the next step, and I'm going to, do the rough drawings for everything. And then after that, I'll essentially do an inked or a completely finish line version of everything to finish everything off. Then I'll scan all the pages, and then I'll work digitally for all the pages, a page or two at a time. But some people, breaking it up and finishing things, I don't know, you just got to figure out how you want to go about hitting your deadlines, I guess. But yeah, I think my deadline for this chapter should probably be something like the end of this month, since I'm coming back to it. I feel like I should have it done by then, so that'd be pretty cool. I subconsciously grip whatever pen I'm using too tightly, and I won't notice till the pain starts. Also, I have been on my phone more than I should be. Oh, okay, Thero. Here's a training method, right? Gripping the pencil too tightly. when you grip the pencil too tightly, or the pen or pencil too tightly, I would like to ask, do you still can you produce thin lines, like controlled lines, even though you have that tight grip? Yeah, that's my question. Because what I'm thinking about is kind of like, yeah, the tight grip happens when I'm probably trying to be cleaner with my inking. How can we solve that one? Trying to be cleaner. You have the tighter grip. Are you using like a dip pen, like a G pen, dip pen type thing? Those types of things. Because I understand those have those really nice grips, and it's pretty easy to do that. I used to ink a lot, slowed down on inking a lot more recently, and I too am into really nice looking line art. So I know that battle. What was I gonna say? No, right now I'm just using my pen tablet. Okay. So, is your pen tablet sensitivity set to like normal, or is it like, I think it's like, what does mine say here? I think I see the preferences or something. So here this, oh no, never mind, cancel. I don't know what this is. I think, oh wait, I have it in the Wacom settings. Where is that? I used to have it up, but I took it down. Basically, on my Wacom settings, I believe my sensitivity is set to be just kind of like normal. So it means that like I have to actually work to get like harder presses. But if you have yours, you probably have to change your sensitivity so that you won't grip too tightly, so that it'll be able to kind of like, you'll be able to kind of like work with like minimal pressure. And I feel like that definitely helps when you're working digitally, because if you have to it's almost like if you're always using like that tight grip, that means your settings might be like, in my head it's reversed compared to like what I'm doing, because I have it whereas though like I don't grip tightly at all actually, and I push harder to get like these darker joints, but I actually have to work to get that. Like I don't, it's not easy for me to get that dark shade without me pressing really hard. I think I adjusted it to be more sensitive to me pressing down. Yeah, I don't know. I think the if you still practice traditionally, I'd say pick up a big pen. The reason I say that is because if you try to do drawings with a big pen, you'll get used to like you'll have to figure out how you want to do a clean line, because the big pen kind of does what it wants, and you have to kind of adjust yourself to it. You know, you can put pressure on it and get a really dark line, or you can stay loose. You can even put your hand to the back of that pen and get very thin lines, right? Like my hand's right now on the back of this, and I'm not producing much of anything, but there I see something. Maybe you guys can't, you know. But with a big pen, you can definitely practice your sensitivity with that. I used to practice with that all the time, and also practicing with a pen like a big pen is great because you get used to your natural lines, and you're not trying to worry about making really clean lines necessarily. It's kind of like the method, well, if you just draw with a pen like specifically, you'll get used to the fact that, hey, I'm not probably going to be sitting here creating perfect pictures and stuff like that. You know, I'm going to make mistakes. You'll get used to those mistakes, and you'll be able to move on from them. In time, that also means that the lines you put down for when you have to ink something will look more natural, because your brain isn't thinking about making it as clean as possible. But the lines you do produce will be in quality of being a natural looking line that'll have life to it. All your fundamentals will still be there, but there will be some human error that will just give your lines a lot more life to them. But also there's just resting your hand, right? You do a certain amount of work, rest your freaking hand. Like, put the pencil down, put the pen down, give yourself a little bit of time, and then come back to it, right? Go use the bathroom, stand up, stretch, chill for a bit, then come right back to it. That's what I think would help. Also, yeah, it pays to know exactly when that happens, right? Like how much work, right? And what type of work. Are you inking? Are you drawing? Usually when people draw, they don't have to be, so so strict with their lines. They can be rough, you know. They can be loose with their lines, right? You can do a gestural stroke, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do these gestural lines and kind of get, what you want from that, right? And because of that, you don't have to be as tight with it, right? And like throw the lines. And having just a pencil or a pen works really well with this. You can throw your lines, right? Oh, did that by mistake. But yeah, you can throw your lines and whatnot, and they're all loose, right? And yeah, that works really freaking well. And then you go over that, right? And then you go over it with more details and more finished line quality stuff. Like, okay, this needs to be a blah blah blah, and this collarbone, and it's gonna be the deltoid, and this is gonna go inward, and this is gonna be, you add all those extra things in there. But also, just like that, you can still do that stuff with loose lines. You can still do that with like loose lines if you want to, because those lines are quite expressive, and that'll help you. Like, over time, it'll become like, as some people call it, line economy, I guess. I think that over time, just practicing more gestural strokes will, I don't know, it might help keep your lines loose, and over time you'll also do less lines. If you don't need to do as many lines, you can practice on the lines that really matter, in what you're drawing. You don't have to, whatchamacallit so much. I think I may just need to be more aware of it so I can stop myself ahead of time. Yeah. Like, I know, like, I think that my threshold for like drawing comic pages, I can sketch or rough draw, because I'm not trying to, when I draw my comic pages, I usually allow myself to be rough. Like, this stuff right here, these is mostly just my character art, but for me, these are my roughs, right? And I can be as loose as I want with these, as long as I can see a bit of the structure underneath, and also kind of like what I want to be similar to the finish line. I have that stuff there, and I can kind of keep it moving. And I can do a bunch of these in a day or in a sitting. I can do, like, let's say, I don't know, 4, maybe even 5 pages in about 2 hours, from just sketching this stuff every single day if I wanted to, right? But when I'm inking, when I'm putting the final line quality down, it varies, right? Because if I've done a bunch of this work, if I'm still trying to produce a really good line like how you are, um, for each thing, and that's the final line, and I'm working on actual paper, I'm thinking my threshold is something like 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 pages if I push it, before my hand starts being like, okay, we're a little tired now. And it's mainly because I would say that there's still a lot of this stuff that I do by hand, like filling in black. If I didn't have to fill in any black by hand, which I technically don't, but I think the pages look better over time if I do it by hand, you know, because I think I'm going to sell some pages eventually in the future, 10, 20 years from now. But if I didn't have to fill in black and I just was like, okay, I'm just do the outline for all this stuff and scan it back in, I'd probably be able to fit in another 2 pages at least for that day of just drawing stuff down. Because I would just, scan it in and just get my bucket tool and just, bloop, 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 fill it in. But yeah, you got to figure out. It's, the more work you do, the more you're going to figure out how much of that thing you can do in succession, like right after the other. Let me get something else to drink. Alright. Let's see here. Got that, got that. Got these two fellows or people here. Gonna zoom in a bit. I think over the weekend I'm gonna take some time to relearn this numerical pad, I guess is what it's called, I think. I bought this thing. It's like I forget what it's called. It's called the box is somewhere. I'm looking behind me. The box is somewhere, but it's like a Targus. Wait, no, it's a. What are you? It's a Razor Tartarus or something like that, right? I bought this thing a couple months back for like $70-something, and it's basically because I can just put my hand on it, and if I'm not typing directly, like needing to type words or dialogue, I can use this thing to be able to map my favorite keyboard shortcuts to it and be able to use that. But it's been so long since I've been consistently using it that I literally only remember about 4 keys. And this thing has a lot of keys. It has like maybe 19, 20 keys, like just for those numbers, and it has like multiple buttons that you can press on the side of it. It has a directional freaking pad on it, and it fits your hand great. It even has like a scrolling wheel, so I can just scroll in and out, and I can press this joint for the space bar. It's really helpful. And the only things I remember how to do on it right now is make my pen bigger, so I can just hold that or do that, or I know how to save with it, which is, I believe, this one, right? Yeah. Yep. And I know this is shift. Yay. That's all I can remember. But I'm gonna take some time to kind of look at everything again and like relearn some of it. But also thinking, maybe I can map colors to it or something, or maybe I can get my wife's assistance and like print out some sort of what are they called? Some tags, some like little sticker joints that I can like put little icons on that'll allow me to remember what it is, because it'll have a symbol on it that shows me what it is. So I don't have to work so hard to remember. So that could be cool. Wait, what is this? Oh, you're talking about the, let me see here, see if I can find it. I keep saying Targus. It's not Targus. Targus is a different company. It's a Razor. It's a numpad. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's called the Chroma Gaming Keyboard. It's a Razer Tartarus version 2. Yeah. Here's a link to it on their website. And yeah, you can type in like you can type in like a Razer Tartarus V2 into like YouTube to get like some reviews of it and whatnot. But honestly, I think if you work on desktop and you have, you know, a tablet and everything and you want to draw, if you're used to keyboard shortcuts already, if you're used to using them and you don't want to just keep reaching for a keyboard for different stuff like that, I'd say get one of these numerical pads or these little keyboards for your hand. It's literally for one-handed use. It fits your left hand. They don't have a right-handed one, I don't think. But it fits your left hand if you draw with your right. And essentially, you can just set up all the buttons how you want. This thing has multiple colors, and I'm sure you can set those up. Set all the different keys. There's a lot of buttons on this thing. It looks like over 30 buttons or something. You know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, there's 19 keyboard buttons. Then you have the scroll wheel. Scroll wheel is also a button. I've never said it because scrolling is good enough. You got a spacebar type key at the bottom. So it's like 20 regular buttons right there. You got again, it's like there's a lot of things on here, okay? I don't really think I'll ever buy another one. That's how I feel about it. It's a great product, and I'm already like, I'll never probably buy another one of these things. So this guy here. Ear here. What type of hair do you have? There we go. I'm gonna leave it like that. And we have somebody here. Okay. I feel like that leg is a little weird, so I'm gonna try and adjust it. Appreciate that. My connection's on trash right now, so I'm getting everything late. That's just fine, man. It's cool. Yeah, these things can be, they're a little expensive, but honestly, you're not gonna buy another one. Well, I'm not gonna buy another one. It wasn't $100. It was a little less, so it's kind of like a present to my productivity. So, anything you can do to make your process feel like it's not as difficult, like for example, knowing how to set up, learning auto actions eventually in Clip Studio, even if they're not that many, helps you out so much. Like, I remember when I finally learned that you could make an auto action for your comic book settings in Clip Studio. I was like, oh my god, finally. Like, it wasn't that it wasn't there before, but it definitely was something I wish I learned. Yeah, I was looking for something like this. I was looking at a Stream Deck at first. Oh, word. Yeah, you could. I think Kai was teaching me about Stream Decks, but I don't know that much about it. But basically, I think Kai had bought this to like transition from like different scenes and stuff like that while he's streaming, and I was just like, nah, I'm gonna use mine for art. And he's like, huh? I was like, yeah, like keyboard shortcuts, for different paint and different brushes and all that good stuff. And he was like, oh, I didn't think about using it for that. I was like, yeah, man. I've seen a lot of artists who maybe they were on older YouTube channels like Sycra or something like that. I think, what's this guy's name? His name was, I forget his name right now. It starts with an N. I forget his name right now. But this guy was showing off his studio at one of the videos, and he was explaining like all his tools around, like all his tools that he had, and why they were cool, why he liked them. And he had this type of thing. He had this type of numerical keyboard thing. And I was just like, I never thought about that, but I guess if you are a digital painter or if you work in digitally on art for that long, it might be helpful to have something that fits your hand while being able to touch the keys you need to touch, Keyboard is a keyboard, and you have to position it a certain way to be able to press your keyboard shortcuts that you have on your keyboard. And it's really long, right? It's really big. But this thing is literally the size of your hand, and it sits comfortably on your hand. So if you already know where all your keys are, eventually you'll get to the point where as though you know exactly what you want to do when you want to do it, and it'll become second nature. And drawing and working digitally will become more comfortable. Nice. I finally feel like I have a worthy thumbnail here. Like I know what I'll be able to like take a screenshot of and post tomorrow or something. So that'll be pretty cool. Alright, we got 2 more pages until, well, until we go back to the front. But you know what? Maybe what I'll do over the weekend is work a little bit more on this. That way, well, I don't know. I don't like to take that stuff away from you guys. I like for you guys to see this whole process. So what I'll do is I'll think about it. I'll look at this stuff and get an even better sense of where I'm going with everything. And then I'll probably pull up some references for all the background stuff that I want to use. And maybe I'll share that, right? Maybe I'll bring up like a, be able to share my screen and have PureRef there or something. And I can like show you guys a little bit of some of the things I'm looking at in PureRef. And I'll be able to be like, okay, like here's this boat that I'm referencing. And I can show you guys little details that I pulled up off of Google and how I'm going to reference those things and implement them into the art. Same thing with like, you know, these different cultures, these different clothing and stuff like that I have going on. Maybe rethink some poses here and there, but mainly just going over background details, right? Like how is the street made? You know, what are they working on? Walking on? Is it dirt? Is it grass? You know, that wouldn't be right. You know, is it, if it's some type of brick, what's the bricks look like? You know, what type of ground are they walking on? Is it concrete? You know, and I'll show you guys how I'm trying to attempt those type of patterns and things of that nature. You know. I don't know why I switched everything from using blue to black, but yeah, every now and then I switch my process up, but it's mainly the same process. Yeah, I like 14 and 15 here. I think they look pretty cool. Going into page 16, things get a lot more smaller, at least in this first panel. And then we have these last couple cuts, and I like that a lot. But yeah, everyone, I think it could be smart for me to kind of end around here. Let me see, is this character in the way? Are you in the way? No, you're not. Alright, cool. But yeah, I think I'll probably end here, essentially. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and hanging with me. Remember to subscribe if you like the content. I do comic videos. I describe and tell you guys about my whole entire process, even what I'm thinking, and why I did what I did, you know, why I did what I did with the composition, layouts, you know, and even sometimes character design, though I'd rather keep some of that stuff for later. But yeah, I go over everything, and I'm usually using this type of stuff to teach people how they could improve their comics, or at least how I do mine. Also, I'm going to be doing illustration on the channel more often, because usually I've been hitting the channel with, you know, video after video of comic content. And I love comics anyway, so that makes sense for me, and it's, you know, it's sustainable for me. But since I'm also trying to do more illustration this year, and you know, in the coming years, I want to definitely show off some of those. So look forward to that as well. It'll be mainly like fan art and stuff like that. What else? Please subscribe to the channel. I think I'm almost at 200 subscribers. Maybe I'm past it now, but yeah, we were really close before. And yeah, I'm still a relatively small channel, and I do this channel because, well, I love it, and I want to kind of teach people things and refine my teaching process. So this is the channel for that. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week at Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is where I usually go live. But thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Peace, everyone.